What's up, YouTube? If you're wondering why I look so excited, it's because of this. No more shaky videos or you can't hear me clear. That's right. You have no idea what I'm saying because that's the problem I was having before. But now I got the legit setup. We can talk about cars. You guys wanted a video. BMW M4 versus Porsche GT3. The only similarities that these two cars have is that they're German. Let me make it very clear. That's the only similarity that these two cars have. They couldn't be further different than, night and day. BMW opted to do a twin turbo inline six. This is not an unfamiliar recipe for them. They've been using the inline six design for it's the engine that made them famous. I mean, a proper BMW has an inline six. I think you guys can agree with me on that one. Porsche, they make everything flat. The GT3 variant is a 3.8 flat six in the .1 version, and if you're lucky and baller enough to have a .2, you got the 4-liter. Yes, it's the same 4-liter as the RS with some adjustments, but you still don't have carbon louvers and a giant wing. Anyways, these two cars are so different from an ownership perspective. The M4 was designed as a car that you could drive to the track and drive home in the same day. The GT3, same exact thing. You can street drive this car, take it to the track, take it home the very same day. The difference really is the way they handle. So the Porsche and all 911s have the engine in the back. So imagine what a pendulum looks like. That's what driving a GT3 is like, except not as calm and smooth as that. It's almost like it's trying to kill you, but in a good way, as in, I'm going to reward you for pushing the car to the limit, but you still must respect the location, physical location of my engine, which is in the back. The BMW M4, very different. Front engine, rear power. So that's a, push design and rear wheel drive design that's in all high performance sports cars. When you get understeer, you lay off the gas and you get some control back. In the GT3, not so much. You let off the gas, imagine your pendulum, it goes like this. Woo. Let's say overall driving characteristics of these two cars, they are also very different. The M4 is a 4 Series with motorsport touches. So at its heart and in its core, it's still a compliant, daily drivable vehicle. The 911 is not so much. The GT3 doesn't have spherical monoball bushings, but it's got coilovers, it's got minimal sound deadening, it's got the PDK, which is spectacular, but a little bit clunky at low speeds. If you own one, you know it's kind of like this. Soundtrack. Go to YouTube, type in GT3 exhaust sounds, and you'll be treated to as many beautiful red line clips as you can find. I'm gonna include one right here. This is me driving to get my groceries because I'm really hungry. The BMW M4 soundtrack. I have no words. The S55 is single-handedly the worst sounding engine that BMW has made. Leave a comment below if you agree. I challenge you to listen to a few clips, and if you find one that sounds good, send it to me. I will change my setup to that immediately. But BMW didn't do a very good job of this, or maybe they did and this is the best that they could come up with. It doesn't sound very good. In conclusion, both of these cars, spectacular machines. If you're lucky to own either of them, you'll know what I mean. They're not inexpensive sports cars, maybe to some people, but all in all, these are, you know, really, really good at what they do. I think the easiest way to decide which car you want to own would actually be to look at the overall ownership experience. I think a lot of people don't take this into account. You know, when you're buying a car, you're not only buying into the performance pedigree and also specs and styling and whatnot, you're also buying into the ownership crowd. You're going to buy the car and you're going to want to meet other people who have the same type of car as you, or maybe you want to go drive with them, or maybe you want to go to the track. Or maybe it sits in your garage as a collector's item. Now, if you're buying a collector's item, buy a Porsche. I hate that owners just buy them and leave them in the garage. But, you know, it hasn't really proven to be a poor investment for Porsche owners. So I'm not advising that you do that. I believe that car should be on the road. BMW has, you know, a really impressive community. I think community is really important, and BMW has that in spades. It has one of the largest single marquee events that are held. You know, Beamer Fest happened every year. If you're from Santa Barbara, Beamer Fest, shout out. I'm sure you guys have very good memories of that. I have very mixed feelings about today's Beamer Fest, but we'll get into that in another video. BMW ownership is interesting. I think these cars are starting to get into the price range where a lot of people can afford them, which is a good thing. It could be bad as well, depending on how you construe it. But if you're looking for people to hang out with and a generally pretty cool crowd overall, at least in the Silicon Valley Bay Area, I would say BMW is a great car to get into. Porsche's crowd tends to be a little bit older, which is, you know, not anything new. Typically, the price range of these cars excludes a lot of folks from owning them, and that could also be a good or a bad thing depending on, you know, what you're looking for in the car. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and hopefully this camera brings greater and better quality to the channel, and I'm hoping to cover a lot of topics that you guys might want to hear about. So if you like what you see, press the like button, press the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, thank you.